So here we are at the StatDisc program. You're looking at the data that I've already entered in relation to part 3 of IS number 21. We're about to do the do step. So you'll notice that in column 1, I actually entered what was in the depression test score with caffeine row on our paper. So those are all those depression test scores with the caffeine pill. Column 2 has the depression test scores with the placebo pill. And notice 5 and 16 are paired together because they are both from subject 1. Subject 6, for example, had 5 and 24. Okay, just make sure those are correct from your paper. They are on mine. And then the third row is where I actually calculated the difference. And I did this because I want to be able to check that normal condition. So this -9, it really does relate to the test score difference for subject number 1. Their test score went up by 9 points whenever they took the placebo pill. But if I do caffeine minus placebo, which is what I'm told to do, caffeine minus placebo, then I have to do 5 minus 16. Okay, so between placebo and caffeine, there's a difference of 9. It's negative because I did the caffeine minus the placebo. And I did that for each of them. So 5 minus 23 is -18, 4 minus 5 is -1, et cetera, et cetera. I went all the way through and put in those depression test scores. So now I'm just going to make a histogram just to check that those differences are actually approximately normal, that they have no strong skew or outliers. So I'm clicking on histogram. I want that third column. It has the differences, and I don't know, whether it'll make a good histogram for me or not. So I'm just going to try the AutoFit, see how it works. Go ahead and plot. That's perfect. 5 bars is enough to tell what's going on. No strong skew, no clear outliers, so we are good. This is approximately normal. So I can come down here and say my sample distribution shows no strong skew or outliers. Check. Okay, all my conditions are met. I'm ready to go to analysis and then confidence interval with mean matched pairs. The good news is I already have that data entered. So if I scroll back up here and go to analysis, confidence intervals, not mean 2 independent samples this time, but mean matched pairs. Here we go. We're making a confidence interval. We have to tell it our confidence level, which for us was 0.90, is a 90% confidence level. And then it says, which 2 columns of data would you like to compare? So I want the first column, that was the caffeine, compared to the second column, okay, which was the placebo. And then I just hit, and oh, by the way, if you're not sure which data, up here you can click show sample editor and you can see there's those caffeine values in column 1 and the placebo values in column 2. Okay, now we're ready to evaluate. And down here is our output. Again, this is what you will have to be able to work with on the test. So it says down here what our confidence interval is. -11.144 is less than mu sub d is less than -3.58. Notice that's all negative values. So we do have convincing evidence that there is a difference between the two, that the first group is less than the second group because we did the first group minus the second group and we got negative results. Okay, let's write down that interval. So it is, again, -11.14400 is less than mu sub d is less than -3.5838. And again, I'm using mu sub d because that's what your computer is showing you, but I do want you to know that's the same thing as this mu diff. They're the exact same thing. Okay, so we're ready to conclude, and of course our confidence intervals are concluded as we are blank % confident, on and on and on, so let's fill that in. This time we are 90% confident, that was the confidence level we used, that the interval from -11.144, I'm going to abbreviate to, actually I think 1 decimal place would probably just be fine. So I'm going to do -11.1 to -3.6 if I rounded 1 decimal place. And I was thinking about what my units are going to be. This is a depression test score, so I could just say points, I guess, but it doesn't specifically say points, so I'm just going to not use units. Captures the, what's my parameter again? True mean difference in depression test score. True mean difference in depression test scores. Now, in my conclusion, I really don't want to just put caffeine minus placebo. I want to write that out in words. So I'm going to say between the caffeine and placebo capsules. Okay. If I wanted to go even further, I could, or if I had another question that said, does this provide convincing evidence that there is a difference in depression test score between the caffeine and placebo capsules? The answer would be yes, there is convincing evidence because 0 is not within this interval. It's all negative values, indicating that we have a negative difference, that the first group is less than the second group. Okay, let's move on to part 4 for hypothesis tests.